Got a special collab for you guys today. We are talking Miami Dolphins with Alf from 3 yards per carry. Let's jump into this. What is up, Fin fans? I told you guys for the next couple weeks, I'm having some good collabs, and this is the start of the good collabs. Like I said, I got my guy Alf from 3 yards per carry, a very knowledgeable Miami Dolphins and football fan. Then we're going to have Richmond Webb on. Then we're going to have Tobin on. And then next week, I'm going to get some more collabs going. I'm trying to reach out to everyone that you have told me to. So like I said, this week, next week, and the week after, I got a lot planned for you guys. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's listen to what me and Alf have to talk about. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. My fins up. I got my guy Alf here from 3 yards per carry. Alf, thank you so much for coming on the channel. How are you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, and thank you for having me. It's been a while. I've never been on your show.
No, I was like, how is that possible? I was like, I gotta get him on, man. You're very knowledgeable when it comes to the Miami Dolphins and when it comes to this stuff. So I was like, I need to get that man on and pick his brain, especially now with everything going on with Tua Tagovailoa. Let's jump right into it. What's your thoughts on the contract situation with Tua?
Oh, I think it has to get done because usually when everybody wants an end result, you'll get the end result. We don't know what they're haggling over. Okay. We kind of know it's not over the average per year or a few dollars here or a few dollars there, because that would be pretty stupid, right? So they're probably haggling over the structure and the guarantees. And if that's the case, I could see how that could be, that could be a contentious area. Okay. Because I always speculated that they would want the structure that the Eagles got with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's a great structure. Yeah.
Okay. And I could see how the Tua camp might not be too hot on that. Okay. But at a certain point, it's just a giant amount of money right before training camp. And he's either going to say yes or he's going to say no. I think we have 3 deadlines. I did a show not too long ago with Reason and Omar, Kyle Krabs, Neil Driscoll. And we were talking about what are the realistic deadlines here. And we got 3 of them, right? The first one is right before training camp. The second one was right before the first preseason game.
Okay.
And the third one is right before the regular season. I think that week of that Jaguar week, I think that Monday is the drop dead date.
Yeah.
So I guess we're monitoring those 3 spots. We got about a month realistically until the 27th to get it done before the first deadline. If not, every question is what it's going to be. Tua has an availability every Wednesday during training camp. Every single question is going to be, okay, what's going on? Will you hold out? Will you? There's no way that they will want this hanging over the team.
No.
Because every question is going to be the same. It's going to be, are you going to hold out? Are you surprised you haven't gotten your contract? Did you see that Trevor Lawrence got his contract? You're the last one I could write all the questions. If the media needs somebody to write the questions for them, I could do it. Okay? Because you could almost predict what they're going to be. Like the first one's going to be, are you surprised you're the last one from your class to get a contract? The second one's going to be, are you going to hold out? The third one is going to be, are you going to play in the preseason game? The fourth one's going to be, are you going to do 11 on 11? So this is a mess. Just get it done. You got a month. Get it done, Chris Greer.
Yeah, it's and they don't want it to become that huge distraction that it will become, because it just makes sense that like he's been at not at every, but mandatory minicamp. He was there. He didn't take place on 11 on 11s. That could trickle into training camp where he's like, I'll do 7 on 7s, I'll do warm-ups, but I'm not going to do a lot. And then, like you said, that's going to be a question, especially if come training camp, the first day that they're really out there is the 28th. Which is 27 days away. Wow, that's going that's going quick. They're gonna ask him, hey, you weren't doing 11 on 11s. Are you gonna hold out? Or you this, and that? It's just a huge distraction. But yeah, I love when I looked at Jalen Hurts' contract, I loved it. And it's a situation where it helps, he gets his money, but it also helps the team continue to keep those pieces around him with Tyreek Hill, and we already got Waddle locked up and everything. But like, he's not playing the first preseason game. So, I don't think that's a real problem. He'll play the next two, if that. Like, because last year, he played what, one preseason game last year, I think.
He played. That's a good question. I know he played the Houston game because he
Yeah.
opened the game off with an interception. But yeah, did he play the Raider game?
I don't think
I
so.
don't remember now. I don't remember.
So it's just one of those things, especially now where people have nothing to talk about. It's like two's contract, and then Jordan Love gets signed before training camp. Forget about it. Then that's another thing to throw on top of the thousands of questions that he's going to be asked. But looking at the team, got two out of the way. Looking at the team as a whole, do you think, because I did a video, I know Omar put out an article and some other people's did articles. Do you think the team got better? Like when you look at the free agents that lost and then the guys we brought in or retained, do you see that the team is better than 2023, or do you think it's kind of status quo?
Nah, this is a better team. It's
Mhm.
deeper.
Mhm.
You could go right down the list. Try to find the area that they're weaker. I guess the offensive line,
Mhm.
right? That you could say the offensive line is weaker because say what you want about Connor Williams, but he was a really good center.
Yeah.
I'm actually a fan of Aaron Brewer, so I don't think it's that much of a downgrade,
Mhm.
if it's a downgrade at all. But you did lose Robert Hunt,
Yeah.
who was your most consistent and your best offensive lineman. Although the comeback and the counter to that is none of these guys played any snaps. Robert Hunt played less than the 50% of the snaps last season.
Mhm.
So what are you really losing? And last year you had Lester Cotton playing 600 plus snaps. You're not going to have that this year. So you could figure to upgrade there. Tight end is obvious. They're better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wide receiver, it's obvious. They're better. Although
Oh, yeah.
Beckham is the third wide receiver. You drafted two young guys. You're clearly better.
Mhm.
Are you better at running back? Yes. Devon Achane coming back for his second year. And you drafted, in my view, and I love that I can't be accused of being a shill for this, because on our draft shows and when we did running backs, I said he was my number one running back on the board, and then they take him in the fourth round. So I was ahead of this. All right. So that's right across the board, better at every single spot, right? On the offensive at offensive units, right? Now then we move on to defense. We lost Christian Wilkins, but you're adding Calais Campbell, you're adding basically 5,000 guys to man the other rotation spots. You're bringing back Zach Sealer. Your edge players are pretty much the same. They're coming off of injury, but you back that up by using 2 draft picks on 2 guys that we think are going to be pretty good, in Chuck
Mhm.
Robinson and Mo Camara. You used free agent dollars on Shaq Barrett. Yeah, you're better there. Are you better at linebacker? This is where I think that they've done a massive
Yeah.
improvement.
I
I
agree.
think Jordan Brooks is a better player than Jerome Baker, and I was
Yeah.
a big Jerome Baker fan. David Long returns. Duke Riley has been busted down from last year playing significant snaps and being LB3 to he's now LB4 because Anthony Walker is a specialist.
Mhm.
So moving on from that, you go to the secondary, and yeah, they're better. You're replacing an often injured Xavier Howard with Kendall Fuller. I think that's a wash,
Mhm.
but you're getting year 2 of Cam Smith. You're adding Jordan Poyer. I like Marcus May as safety 3. Javon Holland should be healthy, coming back from injury last year. You're better there. Are you better on special teams? Yeah. Saran Neal,
Mhm.
Cam Brown. Yeah, you're better on special teams as well. So yes, this team is better. It's clear this team is better.
Yeah, 100%. And I love, Brooks is going to be a guy who is going to be that, unsung hero, because Baker was good at getting after the quarterback, whereas like if you watch Brooks's tape, especially like there was one game against the Rams where he like shut down Cooper Kupp. It was just, he is very good in the pass, and that's something we struggled at with our linebackers, especially against tight ends. We could not cover a tight end if our life depended on it. And they added him and Walker, a very good run stopping linebacker. Speaking
Yeah,
of
Jordan Brooks. I would recommend those that want to see what Jordan Brooks is about, watch his game against the Cardinals in Arizona.
Mhm.
And I know what people are thinking. Oh my God, it's the
It's the
Cardinals.
Cardinals. Yeah.
Yeah, but at this time it was Kyler Murray, and
Mhm.
they have a guy called Trey McBride. And for you fantasy players, keep an eye on him. He's going to be
Mhm.
something
Right.
special.
We'll write that name down.
Write that name down. Watch Trey McBride run 35 yards down the field with Jordan Brooks right in his hip pocket. Okay, that's not something we saw before. Trey
Mm-mm.
McBride is, I believe, he ran 4.55 coming
Mhm.
out. But watch that tape and tell me what you see. He's a good player. He's a good player, and I think he's going to pay big dividends. And man, he's going to pay big dividends against a certain somebody from Buffalo.
I wanted Dawson Knox so bad. If we didn't lose our first round pick, I think we would have took that linebacker Kincaid. I think he would have been a Miami Dolphin.
Yeah, the tight end Dalton Kincaid. Yeah, he's going to be.
This would be
He's
dangerous.
he was
But
already he was already really good last year. He's going to be even better this year. He's going to be a more focal point of that offense.
yep, especially because
So
they got no one else to throw the ball to.
yeah, well, yeah, but now we got a guy that can run with him down the field a little bit. So
you
team's
saw
improved.
you saw that struggle with Duke Riley. Like I don't mean to crap on him, but like he got torched with those wheel routes over and over and over. He just didn't know how to pick up. He would either run into the corner or he would try to get around the corner, and he was just too slow on picking up those wheel routes. And I think they saw that and they were like,
It's also how they teach it, and you
yeah,
kind of saw it against. And I understand he got smoked, but
yeah,
perspective, people. Jerome Baker against the Commanders. Everybody's like, yeah, but he got smoked. Yeah, he got smoked by Curtis Samuel, who runs 4.340. Yeah, but look at how he played it. You're supposed to play it flat, and then you trail.
mm-hmm,
Okay, you trail him right into the safety.
mm-hmm,
Watch how Duke Riley plays it against running backs. Same technique. He just gets outrun.
mm-hmm.
I don't think that's happening this time. I think
No,
we
not
got
with Brooks.
linebackers that could run, turn and run with running backs now.
Got that speed. Speaking of the defense, we lose Christian Wilkins.
Mm.
And I said that Christian Wilkins' replacement is Zach Sealer. Now, it's that I think they fed off of each other. I don't think it's more. I think it's like a chicken and egg type situation. I don't think it's more Wilkins did well because of Sealer or vice versa. Because last year, Sealer had one more sack, but then Wilkins had two more tackles, and then Sealer had one more tackle for loss, but then Wilkins had one more quarterback hit. It's like they really did feed off each other. And then this year, we're kind of seeing who was it, because now Wilkins is over with one of the best pass rushers in the NFL and with the Raiders, and we're going to see if Sealer can do his thing. Do you think it's going to be? I think that's where I could justify maybe we're status quo in the talent loss in Hunt and Wilkins. But do
Mm-hmm.
you think the loss of Wilkins and still having Sealer won't hurt as much because of how productive Sealer was?
Yeah, and it's about who's going to free him up. And I know everybody's saying, yeah, but he fed off of Christian Wilkins, and I would counter with, you don't think he fed off of Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb as well,
Mm-hmm.
drawing attention outside? Yeah, those guys are not going to be there to start the season. Yeah, but we do expect them back eventually, right? Okay, so Calais Campbell, I think, is going to help in that regard. I do not foresee a drop off in Zach Sealer's production. I think he's really, really, really good. I do agree it's a wash. Christian Wilkins was a fabulous player. If we're talking interior offensive line, because I think they improved on the edge, interior defensive line, yeah, it's probably a wash. Christian Wilkins is one of the best players in the sport, but at $28 million a year, you got to make choices. And,
A lot of money. That's a lot of money.
it's a lot of money for a defensive tackle that, I told people it's not really about, having a capocalypse,
Mhm.
as Omar is being fond of saying. It's about, and I know the Greer haters are just going to despise this, okay? Chris Greer got too many good players.
That's true. You got to look at. There's no other way to look around it. You got one guy leaving for 20 million a year. You got another leaving for 28 million. Even like Raekwon
And now
Davis.
you're signing your wide receiver 2 to $26 million a year. And you're trying to sign your safety for like 15 a year. Yeah, he got good players, people.
And then AVG, even he goes to Minnesota, and and Brandon Jones, like Yeah, no GM in the NFL, as much as I crap on Greer I crap on him for the offensive line. For me, I'm still like, dude,
Yes.
what are you doing? But when it
At this
comes
point,
to,
we got to be convinced it's not that he's ignoring it. It's by decree. It's their philosophy right now.
I think he trusts Butch Berry more and more.
Yeah,
And I
and the
think
system and Mike McDaniel.
exactly, if there is a hiccup, they'll just figure it out, quicker releases, moving the pocket. But he is very good at defensive side of the ball, like finding safeties and all that stuff. I think that's his bread and butter. Wasn't he a scout for the secondary?
I believe so. When he was in New England for a short period of time.
Because
Yeah.
he can find them, man. Like, and bringing in Marcus May. That's why I'm like, when it
And for
happened,
those that say that that he ignores the offensive line, 2 years ago he was all hands on deck,
yeah,
full
that is
blown.
true.
Because he went out and he got Teron Armstead and Connor Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And the previous year he had 2 years before that he had taken Austin Jackson and Robert Hunt. So and then they traded up for Liam Eichenberg. Now that some of these picks don't work out,
Exactly. You're not gonna
that's
bat
another
100.
thing. That's another thing. But now it's so obvious. It's part of the philosophy.
And if Liam pans out like Austin Jackson did, it's another situation. And then there's that situation where if Liam does pan out, you have to pay Butch Berry the highest offensive line coach payment you can, because he will leave. He'll go somewhere because he's just doing really
and
well.
not to bag too much on this wonderful app of Twitter, but I remember when Butch Barry was an absolute disaster and a
Yeah.
clown, and how can the Dolphins hire this idiot? Yeah.
Ex-Bronco players are laughing at the
Yeah,
Dolphins.
if you wanna see what's gonna happen next, just go to Twitter and see what is the like conventional wisdom among the members of Twitter, and just go the opposite. You know what I mean? So I kind of dig that people are like, you know what, the Jets are going to be pretty good. Buffalo's still
Right?
in charge. I kind of dig that. You know what I mean?
So essentially, Dolphins are going to the Super Bowl. Tua's winning the
Yes.
MVP, and he's getting a
Yes.
fat contract. That's what's happening.
Yes. Yeah. Once you start seeing that everybody's talking Super Bowl and the Miami Dolphins, forget it. Collapse is coming.
First pick in the draft.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit more defense, because we got Anthony Weaver, who I love. He was one of my 3 candidates that I wanted to be brought in because I like Rex Ryan, Wink Martindale, Al McDonald. Reason asked this question on the panel, and I kind of want to pick your brain a little bit more about that, because it takes about 4 weeks to kind of install a new offense or defense. But he kind of brought in his guys, and he brought in his type of guys, and the Dolphins as a whole were more of a blitzing defense before Fangio came in. Do you think it'll take 4 weeks like it normally takes, or do you think it might be a little bit quicker because Calais Campbell and these guys that he's comfortable with?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit quicker. Remember, one of the biggest pieces that they added to this defense is Jordan Brooks, and he comes from Seattle, which played under Clint Hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of defense does Clint Hurt play? Very similar to what Mike McDonald plays.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it should be a little bit easier to pick up, but I do expect a learning curve. I don't expect the defense to be, hitting its full stride until somewhere around mid-season, which is just in time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
and that's where a situation where it might start hitting its stride, and then Bradley Chubb comes back, and then Phillips is getting the rust off, and then all of a sudden we're really starting to roll, and then we start to get to the hard part of the season, which is that second half of the season. Last thing I want to ask you, speaking of that second half of the season, does it worry you, or are you like me, good, I want the last 6 games to be hard so we don't limp it to the playoffs?
Yeah, I really do believe this, and some people don't. Some people just say, just give me,
Cakewalk. Yeah.
give me 17 cakewalks, okay? And yeah, that's fine. You know what I mean? But I think you do, especially in the NFL. I think it's in really any sport. Although the Celtics kind of proved that this is not true. I always feel like you have to face adversity to be able to win anything.
Yeah.
Panthers sure faced adversity.
Oh my God.
But the Dolphins, man, they they got to exercise some of these demons, right?
Seriously.
You know, like the reason you have these narratives is because they're true. Okay. Now, some of them are BS. You know what I mean? Like you could debunk a bunch of them. Like, you know, the Dolphins, they have problems in the cold. Well, usually when you play in the cold weather, it's on the road, right? And when you play on the road and it's cold and it's a good team, guess what? You're supposed to lose. I did research on this. I went back to I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna go back to 1980, and I started researching all the games in below 40-degree weather.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and lo and behold, the percentage in win percentage is like minuscule compared to the games that they were underdogs on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Just underdogs on the road, 40 degrees and up.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the Dolphins. I have it on my Twitter account. I'll post it a little bit later. But I believe it was Dolphin win percentage on the road as underdogs was 36.7%.
Mm-hmm.
And their win percentage in cold weather as underdogs was 34.5%. So if you really want to fight over 2%, okay, I guess. You know what I mean? The other one is Tua plays terrible on the cold. Well, first of all, I don't agree that 45 degrees is cold.
No.
Okay. But I do agree that under 40 it is. If it's below freezing, yes, okay. He played 2 games in his career. He played good in one, 22 degrees and snowing in Buffalo.
He
And
did.
he played terrible in the other, which was in Kansas City last year when everybody was getting their legs cut off and their arms cut off because it was too cold. So, I want a bigger sample size on that.
Yeah,
Okay?
exactly.
But yes, the narrative that they don't win big games late in the season. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
They don't win big games late in the season. Like, what are the big games that they've won late in the season? They beat the Cowboys at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at the point where I expect them to beat anybody at home.
Yeah.
Like they should go undefeated. And I know some people are like, wait a minute, did you just say they have to go undefeated at home? Yes.
Yeah.
Go undefeated at home this coming season. If you do that and you take one game from Buffalo, which means you split, and you go 4-2 in the division, which means I'm even allowing you to lose a game to the Jets because notice I didn't say the Patriots. That's sweet.
No.
Okay. So I'm even allowing you to lose a game to the Jets. Okay. But split with Buffalo, go undefeated at home. Guess what? You're winning the division. It's as simple as that. So just make those minor improvements and you should be okay.
Yeah, because last year they lost 2 games at home, and it was Tennessee, which they shouldn't have lost, and it was Buffalo. So
they shouldn't have lost either. And I understand that they were limping in that game.
They should have.
You had them beat. That team was ready to lose that day. You just handed it to them. You lost to a punt return and a balloon pass that found Trent Sherfield of all people. But your offense has to score more. You're at home.
Yeah.
Live up to your reputation. Okay. Your reputation is that you're a team that averages more than 3.5 touchdowns a game. Well, a little under 3.5. I think it was 3.4. But they led the league in touchdowns. They had 61. You average over 30 points a game. Do something similar to that at home, even against good teams.
Yeah, and that's the prime example. The Tennessee game, you get one. They score that touchdown. You get 1 first down. We win that game.
Yes,
and they couldn't do that. We all like to put it on the defense because the defense should have stopped them. But you get 1 first down, game over. And Buffalo,
it is a team sport. Like you hand it to each part of the team. Okay, like your defense is out there, and once you have a 2 touchdown, it wasn't even a 2 touchdown lead. It was a 15-point lead. Okay. Well, no, it was a 14-point lead. They actually scored 15 to beat you, which was worse.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah, I've forgotten already. So you have a 14-point lead. Yeah, you hand it to the defense. You say, look, man, you're protecting 14 points. Okay. Like you should win this game. But when the ball is right back in your court, okay, now you go get a first down and you make it impossible for them to win.
Same thing with the Buffalo game. We went into the 4th quarter winning.
Yes.
And then that punt return killed us. It was a short punt return too. Wasn't it kicked to like their 45 or something like that?
No, it was actually long. It was kicked to like it was over kicked. It was kicked to like the 8-yard line or something like that.
I know one of these games that we struggled in. It was a short punt. I think it was the Titans game. I think the last touchdown, I think we punted it to like their 45. I think that's how that kicked that off. I just like to
Yeah.
blame the punter. But
People just lose perspective as you get farther away from these games.
yeah,
Go watch the first half of that Ravens game again. Because
that was
people all remember is that we
a good
lost 5
game.
million to 19, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go watch the first half of that game. Go watch the first half of that game and tell me what you're seeing. You're watching an offense that is moving up and down the field and
Yep.
competing till the defense decided that they were going to give up a touchdown per 4 plays.
Mm-hmm.
You can't keep up with that. You know what I mean?
Especially when you didn't have Raheem Mostert, you didn't have Jalen Waddle. Like, we were banged up, and even the first Buffalo game, people forget we were going tit for tat. They scored a touchdown, we scored a touchdown. They scored, and then Connor Williams goes down, and Teron Armstead goes down, and it just went right down the hill. So just gotta stay healthy. Just gotta stay healthy. But now, like you said, we got the depth, so hopefully that helps us out, man. But I appreciate you coming on chat, and this was a lot of fun. We need to do this again. Where can they find you?
You could find all our stuff at our Twitter account. That's the number 3 yards per carry. If you want to become a member of our Discord, you could go to discord.gg/onlyfins and you become a member there for $3 a month. We have over 2,000 like-minded Dolphin fans, meaning it's not like Twitter. Okay.
Go follow him on Twitter though, because he is hilarious on Twitter.
Yeah, my personal account on Twitter. If you want to get a kick out of me, and if you want to get a kick out of me cursing out Edmonton fans,
So
which
good.
is my God, these people find me. Okay, sometimes I find them. I'm finding some of them because these people are lying about our parade. Our parade was fabulous. Trust me, I was there.
So many people.
You know, but some of the people find me. I'm finding the Edmonton fans. Trust me. Okay. But if you want to follow me there, it's Alf_Arteaga.
So good. Alf, thank you so much for stopping by. We will do this again, if not before the season starts, definitely during the season. And I will be down at training camp on the 15th, so I hope I get to see you there.
I will be there. So come say hello.
Will do.